To this day, they still have no idea what it was that walked into the house. Hey, I'm Sapphire. Want to hear something scary? Have you ever been mistaken for someone else? I know the feeling. When I was younger, I would constantly be confused for my older sister. It didn't help that my mom would dress us alike and give us the same haircuts. I was so used to being called the wrong name or having teachers claim they saw me elsewhere. Now, years later, I've heard numerous stories about people seeing a family member only to have the real family member walk in moments later, or people seeing someone in one place while witnesses swear they saw that same person somewhere else. Looking back on it now, I wonder, what if there really was someone other than my sister being me? In this next chapter, we'll be discussing a curious phenomenon, doppelgangers. In paranormal terms, a doppelganger is a ghostly duplicate of a living being. According to superstition, seeing a doppelganger is a bad omen and a messenger of death. There are several famous cases throughout history. In 1603, Queen Elizabeth I had walked into her bedroom to find herself in terrible condition. Soon after, she became ill and died in that very bed. In 1796, Catherine the Great was awoken one night by her servants, claiming that someone who looked exactly like her was sitting in the throne room. Confused, she got up and went to the room and was shocked to see herself sitting in the throne. She ordered her servants to shoot at the imposter, but their bullets had no effect, and the double dematerialized. Within a few weeks, Catherine had died of a stroke. After being elected in 1860, Abraham Lincoln looked in a mirror and saw not one, but two reflections. One was Lincoln as he was, and the other was pale and sickly. He and his wife saw it as a sign that he would be elected for a second term, but wouldn't live to see it through. And we all know how that ended. Maybe it's just a coincidence that all of these people had seen their doppelganger before their untimely demise. After all, not every case ends in death. Like the story of Emily Sagy, a school teacher in France. Despite being kind and friendly, she had a difficult time keeping a job. She was fired 18 times from multiple schools because her doppelganger was terrifying everybody. On numerous occasions, staff members and students claimed to see a second Emily standing right beside her, mimicking her every movement. But the most famous incident was during a sewing class at an all-girls school. The room was filled with 42 students, with the supervising teacher sitting in the front. The room had giant windows that faced the garden, and everybody could see Emily, energetically and happily picking flowers. For whatever reason, the supervising teacher left the room. Suddenly, the students noticed that Emily's movements were slowing down, like her energy was being drained from her. Then, in the empty teacher's chair at the front of the classroom, a figure appeared. It was Emily. The girls couldn't believe what they were seeing. There were two Emilys, both in plain sight. They tried speaking to the figure in the chair, but she didn't respond. So one girl mustered up the courage to try and touch her. She slowly approached the apparition, reached her hand out, and passed her hand right through it. "What does it feel like?" the other girls asked. "Like thick cobwebs." Then the doppelganger disappeared. The girls looked out the window to see the real Emily as she continued to walk through the garden as before. The horrified girls told their parents, who then complained to the school staff and had poor Emily fired again. Despite the many appearances of her doppelganger, Emily herself had never seen it. Doppelgangers are also common in the Philippines, where they're called Gaia. Chelsea Braganza shared this story about her dad, Floyd, and her uncle, Fred, who had a puzzling run-in with one. When Floyd and Fred were in their teens, they were at home one day waiting for their friend Susanna to come over. There was a knock on the door, and there she was. "Hey, you're early," Floyd said. But she didn't say a word. Instead, she walked straight past him and into the bathroom. He thought it was pretty strange, but figured she just had to use the restroom really badly. Some time had passed, and Susanna still hadn't left the bathroom. Floyd needed to use it, so he knocked on the door. No answer. It had been at least an hour. "Hey, is everything okay in there?" Still no answer. They decided to pick the door open, shielding their eyes just in case they walked in on something they didn't want to see. But they didn't see anything. It was completely empty. The bathroom had no windows. Where did she go? Did you see her leave? No, did you? Just then, there was a knock on the door. It was Susanna. Oh, we didn't realize you left the bathroom earlier. What are you talking about? Weren't you here earlier? What? No, I just got here. To this day, they still have no idea what it was that walked into the house. Doppelgangers have appeared all over the world and all throughout time. Maybe it's our minds playing tricks on us. Or maybe that's what they want us to think. Have you ever seen a doppelganger? Let me know in the comments. Like this video if it gave you the chills, and don't forget to subscribe to Snarled and our sister channels HissyFit and Slaytrix. If you or anyone you know have any unique paranormal experiences, message me on Instagram and I might feature your story. And if you dare to follow me, my links are in the description below. Until next time, sweet dreams.